Hey guys, Ivan here, and in this video we got a couple of very interesting bodybuilding updates. The first one is from Horse MD, who is actually 1 week out of Romania Pro and 2 weeks out of Prague Pro. Now this is definitely one of the biggest names bodybuilders who are doing the Romania Pro. Last year he took third versus the current Mr. Olympia, Samson Dauda, and also this year's Dubai Pro champion, Behruz Tabani. I mean, of course, both of these guys came up a lot since then, but still last year, Horse MD was in that third. He beat Nathan Diasha, and it was kind of close between him and Behruz. He could have placed second. He didn't place second because of his back, I think, but, in some poses from the front and from the side, you could argue that he even beat Behruz Tabani because he has massive legs. And as you can see, Behruz, especially last year, his legs are really lagging. This year, they're much better, but last year, Horse MD could have placed second only behind Samson Dauda. So Horse MD this year is most certainly one of the favorites to win this show, but yeah, he has some heavy hitters at that show. His countryman Rafael Brandao, also Kim Williams. So it's gonna be very difficult. Is it possible? I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but he needs to be in a really good condition. He really needs to be spot on. Milos Archer said that at 2 weeks out of Romania Pro, he was basically the same conditioning that he was in at Romania Pro last year. And right now, at 1 week out, we don't have much, but we got this little ab check from him, and you can get the idea of what his conditioning is like at 1 week out. I mean, is he really gonna be shredded? Is he going to be super lean? I don't know, guys. This conditioning, the midsection conditioning, to me, this looks like 5 weeks out conditioning. At least for my standards. Right now I'm 5 weeks out and I'm probably in the same condition like this guy. I mean, of course, I'm not comparing him to myself. He's I don't know how many classes above me, but I'm talking about the conditioning strictly in the midsection area. Maybe he's holding more water in this area and his glutes are peeled. I don't know, but this is not looking super shredded. If he wants to do really well at Romania, he needs to be at least the way he was last year at that show. And this is what that looked like. This was phenomenal, honestly. With the vacuum, he has an amazing V-taper. He has big arms, big freaking huge legs. I mean, overall, nice flow, nice structure. And conditioning was phenomenal last year at Romania Pro. He was peeled, man. Is he gonna be peeled this year? Is he gonna look like this? Is he gonna be improved, maybe? I mean, there was an entire year for him in the meantime to improve. Yeah, he prepped for the Arnold, but at that show he was 10 weeks out, so he didn't really diet down. He didn't really lose a lot of time, cutting the weight down. He actually showed up basically in his off-season conditioning to the Arnold Classic. So he had an entire year to improve on his physique. Did he improve it? I mean, let's wait. Maybe he's gonna post something these next couple of days before the show, but from what I saw so far, it doesn't seem like he's going to bring this again. But, last year, nobody thought he was going to place that high or look this good until we finally saw him on stage. So, I don't know, anything is possible. Maybe he actually looks much more conditioned, much better in the actual bodybuilding poses. But from what I'm seeing so far, right here, it doesn't seem like he's going to be 100%. But maybe I'm wrong. Whatever you guys think, tell me down below. Alright, next up, we got a physique update from Martin Fitzwater at 2 weeks out of Prague Pro, where he's gonna face Chris Bumstead, Sean Clarida, Rafael Brandao, Horse MD, Kim Williams probably. We'll see who else, but it's gonna be a tough show for sure. And this is what Martin looks like right now. So he posted a couple of shots. He's basically hitting all the classic poses. And in the caption of this post, he says, "How much am I over my classic weight cap? What classic poses should I hit in my routine for the Prague Pro?" Now, as far as what his weight is and how much is it over the classic weight cap, he actually answered that in the comment section right here and on Fuad's podcast as well. He's actually 45 pounds over the classic weight cap, which really makes me wonder. I mean, in my prediction, I have Chris Bumstead actually winning that show. And Chris Bumstead made the classic physique weight cap 4 or 5 weeks before the Prague Pro. So, he's definitely going to be smaller. He definitely is smaller than Martin, but Martin is very short. So in classic physique, the taller you are, the bigger you can be. I mean, you get plus more pounds over your height. So I guess they try to make it as proportionate as possible, but still, we all know, in classic physique, taller guys have an advantage. That's not always the case, of course. Mike Sommerfeld just placed second, beating a bunch of taller guys, but that's not usually the case. Chris Bumstead was always the biggest guy in classic physique because he's taller than most of the top guys in classic, and Mike Sommerfeld is definitely something new. Like, we haven't really seen a guy that is that short and that big in classic. So it's really amazing that he actually made a weight. I think he's probably similar height as Martin Fitzwater. I don't know their stats exactly, but I'm assuming they're similar height. Maybe Martin is a little bit shorter. So let's say they're same height. I mean, then Martin would have 45 pounds over Mike Sommerfeld. How crazy is that? Does it really look like that? I don't know, guys. I don't think so. I trust Martin. What he said, I'm sure it's true, but, I don't think there's going to be that big of a size discrepancy between Martin and Cbum at Prague Pro. Now, Martin, I gotta say, he also has a very classic structure. I was watching his posing routine the other day, and the main thought that went through my head was, bodybuilding is really moving in the right direction lately. I mean, this is a top 4 guy right here, and if you look at the others, like Samson Dauda, the current Mr. Olympia, very aesthetic, very classic in a way, I would say. Derek Lunsford, also pretty aesthetic. Hadi, not the most aesthetic guy, but he definitely made improvements with his vacuum, with his abdominal control and stuff like that. So, we definitely don't have the guts anymore. We don't have disproportionate physiques. I think Hadi is on his way out, and I don't like his delts and his arms and stuff like that because of all the oil, whatever it is. So, at this point, bodybuilding is definitely moving in the right direction, and Martin is definitely one of the more aesthetic guys in the open division as far as the top guys, of course. And going against Cbum, again, he has 45 pounds over his classic weight cap, so for sure, he is going to be more massive than Chris Bumstead, but is it really all about size? How much is it actually about the shape, the structure, the flow, the stage presence, the confidence? Chris also has this aura about himself. When he steps on the stage, he draws everybody's attention. So I don't think Martin is going to win this easily. I think it's going to be very close. Again, nobody can predict this. Nobody knows what it's going to look like on stage. That's why it's so exciting, because everybody is waiting to see it. Finally. I'm just trying to tell you what I think is going to be the case, but nobody knows really. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm saying what I'm saying. We'll see if I'm right or I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I think it's going to be very close between Chris Bumstead and Martin. And my prediction, again, I will stick with Cbum beating this guy right here. But we'll see. I could be wrong. You guys tell me down below, what do you think? Alright, next we got this physique update from Hadi Choopan. He posted this a couple of days ago on his stories, and I wanted to make a video about it, but I kind of forgot, so I'm going to include it in this video right here. And when I saw this photo, the main thing I was thinking is Hadi's biggest flaw lately, like this year. And everybody who was there at the show said the same thing. Basically, his legs from behind were way too small. I mean, yeah, Tyler Mannion in his analysis of the top 2 said basically that Hadi's legs from the front were smaller as well, and that was the case for sure. You guys probably watched my video. I compared his legs from the Arnold Classic to the Mr. Olympia, like they were overall down in size, but I think this is probably the reason why he lost the Mr. Olympia. I mean, he was really conditioned from the front. He was still very good. He was shredded from the front, but from behind, his back wasn't in the condition that it was at some shows, especially the Arnold Classic, and the size of the legs from behind was much, much worse than Samson's. Take a look at it right here. Basically the width of the legs from behind and that inner area, the hamstrings, the adductors, and that's something Hadi needs to start working on. James Hollins had actually mentioned this on Fuad's podcast, and he made a really good point. He actually compared Hadi to himself and said that a lot of guys, just like to do the basic stuff, heavy squats, heavy hack squats, heavy leg presses, and they don't focus that much on the details, like the adductors, the glutes, the hamstrings from different angles, different parts of the hamstring, and that's something Hadi should start working on even right now. Yeah, I know he's a little bit older, he has been doing bodybuilding for too long maybe, and it's questionable whether he can actually make progress in this part of his career or not, but if he wasn't really that focused on that part of his body and he starts training it like maniac right now, I'm sure he can make progress. And if that area was better, if he actually had this thickness, this density from behind, like in the inner part of the legs and just overall leg width from behind, maybe he would have beat Samson. He lost to Samson because he was off, period. And Samson was better than ever before. He was on for himself. Hadi was still probably in overall better conditioning, but his back wasn't in shape, and that part, the legs were down in size, and he lacked those details and basically the density in the legs from behind. And again, that's something he needs to start focusing on right now. I don't know when this photo was taken, I'm guessing around the Mr. Olympia, and here you can see it very clearly, that's the area he's lacking the most right now, and I'm sure it's something he can improve, basically, even at this point in his career. That's the way I see it, guys. If you don't agree with me, tell me down below. Or if you agree, or whatever you guys are thinking, just comment down below. Like this video if you enjoyed it, please. And please subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you soon. All the best. And bye-bye.